Thank you very much for having me. It's quite an honor. I don't know how many times a high school coach gets to go to the big city and talk to all you people, so it's great. To coach and to develop a program is a tremendous opportunity. How many times do we think of different coaches that we would like to emulate or copy? Who would you, in your mind, really like to copy or emulate? And when I started coaching back in the fall of '76, and I'm of the age where I remember a Vince Lombardi, I still remember Bobby Knight, Don Shula, John Wooden. You recognize those names. Most of you have never heard of a Bill Killen. A lot of you have heard of a Virgil Fletcher. Of those guys, and I took a lot of things, I like to think, from some of them. From Bobby Knight, I want nothing. He can't offer me anything I like. From these other fellas, there's plenty there for all of us to take a piece of and go away with. I've also taken some things from high school coaches while I was there. I've taken things from volleyball coaches when I had to sit in the stands and watch at a state tournament. First time I went to the state tournament, I was sitting up there at Horton Fieldhouse at Illinois State. And I was trying to decide and figure out which limb of my body I would give just to sit on the chair. That's how bad I wanted to be there. Just to sit on the chair, be a coach on that chair. I didn't care if I won the match or I lost it, just to sit on the chair. And I thought that was a big deal. As a coach, one of the coaches I copied was a former modern-day coach, and he used to kick the bleachers when he got mad. And so I did that one time. I ruined a pair of shoes, so I thought, that's not worth it. You kick the bleachers. There goes $40 right out the window, one easy kick. Yell. When and how to yell. That's important for coaches, right? Well, quit doing that. It's not that big of a deal, because if you want to say something to your kids that bad, call timeout. But don't talk to me about timeouts, because I hate to call them. I want the other team to call them so I can use them. So I have to develop your own style that you can be proud of and something that you can live with. Because it's the kids that you want to have achieve the highest level. It's nobody else. The thing is, those victories don't mean anything to me. Next year we're at 0. 86 losses was too many. I goofed up. I messed up. I didn't do the right thing. So the losses concern me. I've met coaches who can tell you exactly how many wins they had. But since I've heard this thing so often, I know how many I have now. But I know some grade school coaches who say, well, I win 70 games every year in basketball. That's a midget team, that's a D team, and that's the A team. Who cares? Where does a midget team take you? Where does my freshman team take me if I win every match? Nowhere. Where does my JV team take me? Where does my varsity team take me? They take me to Bloomington. I like that weekend. Free. Room, board, great time. That's what I want. That's what I want every year. And once you do it, that's got to be the only goal you have. Get there. The rest, let the chips fall where they may. To win the game and the players. It's a game. Believe it or not, it's a game. Our goal as a coach, give what perception to the players and parents and fans? What are they going to see in you? When you're out there, they see you. And the most kind of thing that really worries me the most is when the kids are on the floor, they're emulating, they're copying, they're showing everybody in the gym your personality, whether you like it or don't like it. If they show frustration, that's the way you are in life. If you allow that to happen, it's your fault. So be careful what they're doing. Show confidence at all times, as much as you can. There was a time period I folded towels, and I was the best towel folder around. The fans would tell me, you must do good at home. When your wife does the laundry, she can leave the towels for you. I really can fold towels so that it turns up in the right way every time. We had a little night head on small towels, and that thing would always show up. I just had it down pat. Now I don't have towels to fold because I have these things. I can't see, so if I put these on, I can't do much of that. So it's crossing my legs, putting my cuff right, something to get away from doing something really silly. And I'm responsible for what happens on the floor, behavior of the players, the attitude of the players. I would pull a kid off the floor if they stomped around too much. I've got one player this year who was one of my better players, but she was getting there. And I told her after a match, you have to stop doing it. I want my kids, if they make a mistake, walk back to the spot and dare the server or whoever, I dare you to hit it to me. I don't know how many times in big matches and key matches when I tell the kids, you want the ball. You're the best passer, you're the best setter, you're the best hitter, you're the best blocker that you know, and you take care of yourself. So those are awfully important things. Goals for the players and individuals for the year, I really don't care what their goals are. I don't care to have team goals. I don't have a team captain. I have enough problems. I don't need to create any more with a team captain. If you let the team select a team captain, it's a favorite. If you select a team captain, she must be your favorite. So I don't have a team captain. When we toss the coin to start the match, I don't care who goes up there. I just pick two, and I try not to have the setter do it too often, depending on how we're setting up the match. She needs all the practice she can get. So I don't mind two backline players. I don't mind two frontline players while the other kids are warming up. Somebody that won't be hurt and make the call that I want if we happen to get the toss. It's only a game, contains a series of life experiences. And sometimes I think we forget that. The kids are going through a series of life experiences. Not having a good day or a good game correlate. Having a great game. Things couldn't be better, but we have days like that. They're allowed to. How to overcome adversity. When I'm sitting in the stands watching grade school games at home, in my little area of the world, I tell the kids when they come into camp, when I sit there, what I want to see when the worst that can happen to your team is happening. I want to see how you react. If you react favorably, and if you're calm, confident, and keep plugging away, that's what I want to see. If you fly off the handle, yell at the other kids, do all that kind of thing, that's not what I want to see. What are you going to do in a big game? You won't be able to handle it. It's very simple. So they need to remain steady and confident and never give in. Never give in, never quit, and just stay out there and be steady. Play your best and let the chips fall where they may. You'll win most of the time, but you really never lose. If we lose and play the best, so what? It's the best we can do. The other team's got a right to be better, so they win. Sometimes we forget that other teams have a right to be better. They have a right to score. And I tell the kids, and you'll hear this again, I tell them before matches, the team's going to put some balls down. The team's going to block some of your spikes. They're allowed to. But you have to slow them down. So the other team has a right. Learn the fundamentals and the foundation of the game. Where's my book? Everybody heard about the book? This Winning Volleyball by Al Skates in 1976 is all I needed. Read it, how to hold your hands, where to put your feet, how to serve a ball, how to do all that stuff, of which I can do very little. I just have kids to do it for me. Basics win with a proper hit. I had a kid, we were playing in a gym, and most of you never heard of Odin. It was so early they attached the net to a fiberglass, to the rim on a fiberglass backboard. Today, we would break that backboard. I was putting a girl in, and I said, we do not use CYO hits. That was one of these jobbers, where you do this. I put her in, and the first ball goes to her. Here we go. She comes out. Sorry about that, sweetheart. We don't use those. But you have to do it. I said it. I did it. Don't try to impress. The kids don't need to impress anybody. We were having freshman practice. My wife got a call from her father. My daughter was the most valuable player on her grade school team. She's 5'11". She's this and she's that. And so I came home and I asked, and my wife told me about, oh, this guy said his daughter's really going to impress you today. I said, who was it? And I still couldn't figure it out after she told me all these good things. She never did make the team. As soon as you hear it from the parents, it's probably not really going to happen. A bad hit is not okay. It's not a good try. My players on the bench, as freshmen, say, good try. Oh, the effort was there. I tell them, be quiet. It was a lousy hit. It wasn't good. You telling me you spiked the ball and hit the wall? Good try. No. There's a lousy hit. There's a lousy try. You better get the ball down, or else. Down the road, you won't be here. How many times do I hear players on teams say that? Hear coaches, that's a good try. I love it. Keep trying, sweetheart. Someday you may get it in. But don't lie to the kids. Tell them the truth. Was it a bad hit that hit the wall? Yeah. Disgusting. Okay. Decisions I had to make when I started coaching. Is volleyball, was that going to be an intramural sport where everybody gets to play? Everybody, sweetheart, makes the team? Is this a funsy thing? Complete funsy? Or are we supposed to try and win? I decided I was going to take the best students in the school that would come out, and those were the kids that would make the team. I had a principal come in. Well, I'll tell you that later, because I'll remember that. But I got the best kids that I could find who came out. 79 kids came out to the first practice. It had nothing to do with who came out. At the time, we were just starting volleyball. I didn't even know who they were. I hadn't seen them before. And if I hadn't taught them, I hadn't seen them. I kept kids' names by last names. You know how in your small town, say Lampy's a sports name? Oh, keep a Lampy. Okay, she must be pretty good. I quote her. Hey, that sounds good. We'll keep that one for her. We'll let her hang on a little bit until I get to see what she can do. Who was I to talk? The only thing I had was this book. But first year we were 9-8. We were 1-6, lost 5 in a row. I took the girls, the varsity girls, nice kids, took them into the locker room. And I was minorly upset. To them, I was smoking. I told them, I'm not a loser. I didn't coach volleyball to lose. We're not going to lose. And you're going to play better. And you're going to do this. And you're going to do that. We won the next 6. If you want to lose, you can continue to lose, playing the girls, except losing. If you don't want to lose, you can change that. But you're the only one that can change that. Fair and consistent. And down the road, I find being fair and consistent to be one of the toughest things to do. The good about being fair and consistent is what? It's the right thing to do. Isn't it? Where in the world can you find fair and consistent? Where can you go where somebody's going to treat you fairly and going to treat you consistently the same way as often as possible? It's the right thing to do. You know what's bad about fair and consistent? It's awfully hard to do. It's hard. It's the toughest thing I've ever had to do in my life is be fair and consistent. So with fair and consistent, and to remain that way, here comes politics. What does politics mean to me? It means that I don't like politics. I think politics is dirty. I think it's like getting wet when you jump off the diving board. How long does it take you to land? To get wet. I think it's the same thing. So with politics, there's favorites. Who the players are, who the parents are, friends of the family, your friends, school board members, neighbors, relatives, your own children, appearance of the students in school, at matches representing the school. My kids have a dress code. To and from all matches, they have a dress code. My kids, my oldest girl is going to coach the University of South Carolina, Spartanburg next year as a head coach. I don't know how excited I am. I'll be anxious to go down. She's the assistant coach this year. My youngest girl is at Knox College, and she's playing volleyball there. The first one was really good volleyball player, the best setter I ever had. Ever had. Simply because she knew where she was all the time on the floor. Her team got to the state tournament in her 4 years twice. Never won it. My second daughter, who was not nearly as good, not athletic, none of that stuff, was on a team that won the state championship. And often, if people bring up something, they bring up her, and I tell them, well, she was the only one on the team who could put up with my 6'2" middle. And my 6'2" middle was pretty important. And that's what helped win the state tournament. So, there are different things. How long does a season last relating to the politics thing? I had a parent, we won the state championship in November. A parent was upset because Sweetheart got cut in August. One of the administrators who was trying to be nice, thought they were being good to me, trying to help me. Believe it or not, it lasted until April, when the parents came in and talked, and they always brought up my daughters and this kind of thing. But I have the answers. I'll talk to them to anybody. I'll talk about anything I do in my judgment of the game about any kid. Whether you've got money, whether you don't have money. If you're on the school board at my high school, I could care less. If your daughter plays volleyball, so what? I hope she's good. In a couple of years, I may have the principal's kids. I hope they're good. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. It's that way, and I think it's got to be that way to be fair to the kids. Okay, no favorites. I treat them all alike. One of the things I have about favorites and best players, I let my best player. I drive the bus too, among many other things. There are very few things I haven't done. I drive the bus. We're going to a game that's about 50 minutes away, and so I say that we're going to leave at 20 minutes to the hour. It's 20 to 5. I started that because two girls kept coming later and later. Okay, my best player's not there. I leave. I'm looking in the mirror. Come on, Pop, Mom, bring Sweetheart. We get to the game. She's not there. The JD game plays. She's not there. The varsity game is starting. She's there. We got a game against Belleville Alpha the next night, and they were tough that year. I need her to show up. I'm hoping she shows up like any normal human being. Especially if you're the coach, she's the best kid. She walks in the gym. I send one of the kids on the bench, tell her, show her where the locker room is, have her change, and bring her up. She comes to the bench. She is crying. I told her, settle down, I'll get you in as fast as I can. You made it. You came to the game. She played the game. She played the next night against Belleville Alpha. The family never, to this day, has said anything to me that I did anything wrong. Her friend's mother climbed up and down my back for leaving her. The reason she was really late was because she was coming in with some basketball players who told her, don't worry, Coach won't leave without you. Sorry about that. So the girls aren't late. This year a girl was late for the regional, I think it was a regional game. And one of the starters, I was driving out of the parking lot. She wanted to park by the island, but she thought I was going to turn around. Wrong. I don't turn around. She stopped the car, got out, and come. I don't do it for anybody. Any player. Poor player, best player. It makes no difference. I try to treat them all alike as much as possible. I think you must cut to be fair to all the players. Phone calls every year, I get them. Doesn't make any difference. This year, I did not get a phone call. I've gotten a phone call from the mother when I cut a senior whose sister was a sophomore and made the team. And I'm sure the mother was crying, the daughter was crying, and I think the dad was there with a 12-gauge shotgun. He wished he could blow my head. And here's kingdom come. But that's the way it is. She wasn't good enough. Okay, players knows who the better players are. The parents only have to worry about one sweetheart. One sweetheart. It's easy to give in. I tell the kids, make me cut you, don't quit. The door, but I also tell a freshman, the door is always open. And I also tell a freshman, if you're going to quit, don't take somebody good with you. What's it? Tell that kids, they don't hear well either. I give them things like that all the time. Okay, no politics at all. I am politic clean in my sport. To me, you make all the decisions regarding your sport. You must be able to explain everything that you do. Everything. Be able to explain why you cut someone, explain why you use a 5-1, why you use a 6-2, why you use center back ups, why you use center back deep defense, why you block, why you don't block, why you block 2, why you block 3 if you're crazy, why you block at all. Able to answer any question anyone may ask at any time. And at the same time, with all that going on, everyone in the school, every August, has a right to come out for volleyball. Whether you've ever played in your life or not. Whether you sat out a year or not. You've got a right to play. Now, you also have to make the team. You have to make the team. And I have to treat that kid as fairly as I treat the best kid I have coming back, if I'm going to be fair and consistent. Respect. I think it comes if you're believable to the players, if you're honest, if you want to win, if you want the players to get better, and if you want the team to win. You can't fool the players. They know. They look into your eyes and they see right through you. They see you for what you are. And if you don't believe it, look at your kids sometime. If you are true to your word to them, you don't have a problem. A couple of years ago, I had 41 players. I kept 24 freshmen, 7 sophomores, 5 juniors, 5 seniors. If I went to Belleville West, if I went to Central, if I went to Hillsborough, 41 players played that night. We had a freshman match, JV and varsity. If they come out, did they come out to sit on the bench? Did they come out to pay their dues? How do you pay dues? If I'm good and you're not, I play and you don't, you're paying dues? What am I paying? No, I'm playing. I'm having fun. Is that fair? That I play and you don't? I don't think it's fair. If I keep 41 kids, go to another school, 41 kids play. Every one of them has got to play. I tell a freshman, I don't care if mom or dad show up or not. And I tell mom and dad, you want to show up? Show up. Sweetheart's playing anyway. I also have the freshmen play the second game of the JV match. Am I there to win the JV match? No. I'm there to get the kids as much playing time so I can tell if they're going to be good down the road. We don't win very many freshman matches. Of those 24 freshmen, I break them up into 3 teams. I shouldn't say boys sports. In some sports, they break them up into A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. Best team is the A team. B team is next. C team is a bunch of mutleys. My teams are balanced. If I got 3 good players, there's 1 here, 1 here, and 1 there. I have no idea which of the 3 teams is the best. If you're a poor player, can you play better if you're only playing with poor players? If you're a good player, you get to play with all the good kids, so you have a chance to look better. I spread them out. I don't know which team is the best. They play the second game, rotating, maybe a 3-match basis every time we go out and play. The freshmen get more playing time than my JV team. I'm almost being overly fair to the freshmen, but I won't find out if they're any good unless I play them. Okay, show confidence. Don't pull a player who just made a mistake. We all make mistakes. I see it all the time. Somebody made a bad pass out of bounds, or somebody shanked one off their arm, somebody spiked one out of bounds, they're done. No, those kids stay out there. And it's really crazy. Some fans say if a kid makes a mistake or two, take that kid off the floor and put somebody good in, especially when they have a varsity team. Well, who do they think is out there? Don't you have your best kids out there already? So why pull them? Leaving the player in will give the player more confidence than you can believe. What else? Tell the players what you expect from them. You have to tell them. or you're not going to get it. They will give you what you want, and they'll give you more. No more, no less than you ask. The game is fun, or don't play it. If you don't like it, and like I said before, the door is open whenever the kid's ready. They don't like practice. The door's open. Just don't take somebody good with you. Okay, I have that underlined. That's nice. Team, take risks to help a player to become better. I was afraid in the beginning to help a player to become better. I was afraid to do anything in volleyball because I thought, this kid is too good. I'll mess him up. You won't. You can't mess him up. You only encourage them because you think they're good. They're going to know that you think they're good. And then they're going to play harder and do more things for you. Don't be afraid. I tell a freshman, don't be afraid to take a chance and be right. What happens when you take a chance normally? We think we're going to be wrong. I tell the kids, take a chance and be right. They all work together. The team effort is the ultimate. Know what different players need or what they don't need. At the state tournament this year, I told the kids, if you need somebody to talk to you, make sure you tell them now. And so my big, tall middle hitter who goes out into Disneyland somewhere said, talk to me, talk to me. She played well. But she needed somebody to stay on her, to stay alert. Do not put players in a position where they can fail. Sometimes we put kids, just put a kid out. Oh, go on out there. Never put them out there where they can fail. Put them in the best position that you can find where they have a chance to succeed. Even those little freshman kids. Okay, who is in charge? I called the timeout a couple years ago, many years ago. The player now is a coach somewhere. She started talking as soon as we got in the huddle. I told her one thing. Shut up. That was it. You are in charge. The players are not in charge. Believe it or not. The team must know it at all times. I have kids, too, that drink. They get caught. And when they get caught, automatically, next 2 matches, they're gone. One player came and told me and cried. One player. Kid's one of the best players on their college team as a freshman. Doing well. Any rules that are broken are enforced promptly and to whoever the rule applies. I don't care. This is for the best player and the poorest player. By leaving people, I left 5 starters for a regional championship match. During the state tournament, I left 5 starters. They weren't in the bus. Took off. They caught me. They caught up with me. They said they didn't tell me anything. I found out 5 years later it was a train. I said, you better plan earlier than the train because I'm leaving. I wasn't leaving. I was gone. And the last bit I have here is I am different from most coaches in the following. I cut from the top down. Now, doesn't this make sense? If your senior doesn't start or isn't in the starting rotation, what is that senior doing? Taking up a uniform that somebody else should be wearing. If a junior is just as good as a senior, shouldn't you cut the senior and let the junior play? Why don't we do that? It's seniors, juniors, sophomores. I tell the sophomores when I cut, you just go home and pray that I cut the snot out of those juniors and seniors. Because that leaves more room for more of you. And it happens. I can give out 15 uniforms. If you play my team early in the year, there won't be 15 kids with uniforms out there. I give out varsity uniforms only to the varsity players and the 1 or 2 extra players I need in case we go over 3 rotations. I have taken uniforms, varsity uniforms, away from players. We were having a match with a neighbor school. I wanted somebody to serve. I looked down the bench. 2 girls are talking to the boy school photographer. I was instantly not a happy camper. I put somebody else in to serve. We won the match. As soon as the match was over, I called the girls over. I said, go down to the locker room, give me your uniforms. They went down to the locker room, gave me the uniforms. They were crying. I said, thank you, and told them why. I gave them back in about a week and a half or so, but I didn't have a problem for that again. well, what? It's going to reoccur. It's going to happen again. But then I just have to do the same thing. But I don't give out all the varsity uniforms until I need a particular person for a spot, or somebody in the JV is getting that good to move up. And otherwise, they don't get them. I treat those things special. The uniforms are not their personal wear, believe that or not. How many times can I go to a town where the uniform looks like a personal wear? It's like a Little League team. Everybody runs up to the ice cream shop. Now, in some of these towns, they go to the bowling alley with the uniform. Where's that uniform supposed to be worn? Locker room, the floor, locker room, off. That's it. Never. If their other clothes is wet, I guess they have to go home in wet clothes. That is too bad. Sorry about that. On the floor, it is not acceptable to show emotion that the player made a mistake or is upset with themselves. Isn't that exactly the person we want to hit the ball at next? We used to do that. We'd hunt up somebody on this one team, and it works. It works. My kids are not allowed to. And like I said, the one player I had this year, I talked to her. She got a lot better. You can break them. They can be broken. But you have to let the kid know you're boss. And I really believe you have to be able to, in drills, not break a kid, not tear them apart, but you have to let them know that you are in charge. And if you want to put that ball almost through them, you can. But you have to take charge and do it. I want players to want the ball to be hit to them, and it's very important in a big match. There were about 4 or 5 big matches this year. And before we play the game, I say, okay, let's practice. This is a big match. We haven't lost a big match in a number of years. The Belleville West match this year, nice practice, a big match. The St. Francis Borgia tournament this year against Quincy, let's practice a big match. For now, every time we play for East Central, a big match. We lost one big match this year. Forget about all those years we won all those. We lost them. The players who are not the starting varsity players know if they play, if they're on the bench and have a uniform, at the end of the year for the state tournament, I dress 15. But those players know if they play, what position they will play, and when they're going to go in. It's not going to be a surprise. I'm not going to look down the bench and call, Mary Jane, Betty. No. Am I being fair to the kid? They don't know what's going on. When the kid is ready, when the rotation goes over 3, and I have it set up, the kid knows, she comes over, we're ready. She knows she's going in. She knows what position she's playing. She knows who she's next to. She knows who the setter is. She knows what hit she's going to make. She's a backline player. She knows where she's going to go. No surprises. They have to be ready. I don't slap their hand when they come to the bench. That's just me. Whether you do it or not, that's fine. But that's just the way I am. I am not a rah-rah person. It's not my style. After the match, I talk to the girls first, before anyone else gets to them. Me first. I've heard too many stories about the kids going to their parents, and may have had a bad game, or something's happened during the match, and all this kind of stuff. The whole group waits for me after the match. I talk to them first. Then I tell them to go down to the locker room, and one of the good things I used to tell them, I need to get back to telling them is, take 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes, decide how well did you play in the match tonight. You, personally, individually, how well did you play? The second 5 minutes, decide how well did you play as a team. Did you help the team? Were you that team player tonight? Because we don't lose ourselves, we lose as a team. Okay, the varsity players all ride the bus to and from away matches. And the reason is I want them to grow together as a team. Breeze Central is 2.5 miles away. My varsity kids ride the bus from my high school to their high school. After the match, I don't care if mom and dad are there. I don't care what kind of party's going on. They get on the bus, they're riding with me, in the high school back, as well as riding an hour and 45 minutes from our place to Shelbyville and back. They're on the bus, the varsity players. The freshmen in JV, if they ask me, fine, hit the road. Any player that comes to practice and has a doctor's appointment, I haven't had this down, but any player, if they say they have a doctor's appointment at 4 o'clock, I tell every kid, you be out there waiting for Mom at 5 to 4. I don't want you to be late. And I'm serious. I have very few doctor appointments and stuff after school. But I tell them, go ahead. Go early. Please don't be late. Okay, rules for the teams. When they're needed, I make them. I had to make a set of rules for our teams. I made a whole sheet of rules about the dress and the whole bit about being on time. And I came up with so many rules. What a hassle. So when I need a rule, next time we have practice, we have a rule. And if they don't like it, sorry about that. I don't make them until it's needed, so that's tough. That's the way it goes. As you've heard before, time the bus leaves, that's very important. The thing is, you must do it. And the thing from me to you is, you must do these things. Are you going to be fair and consistent? Do you have the guts to be fair and consistent? Do you have the guts to cut? If I'm doing my job, I have got to cut kids. I was going to say before, a principal came to me the first 5 years I was coaching and I was cutting. He wanted me to stop. I said, I can't do it. I can't be fair to the kids unless I let them know who are the better players by keeping them and playing them. And I have cut almost every year. I've had to cut. Kids want to play volleyball if you make it special. My uniforms are special. I was in a terrible situation this fall. I had 16 players and 15 uniforms. One kid was not going to get a uniform. And that kid went into a crying tantrum for 20 minutes in the coach's office. First time I ever took the kid home to Mom. Told Mom. Mom didn't get excited until she found out that I kept freshmen on the varsity. Then hit the fan again. Then I left the house. And I was gone. Got home the next night after practice. Guess who was there waiting for me? I bring the little bus in. There's Mom. Why? She does this, she does that, she chases balls. That's got nothing to do with the game. And so I had to explain to her why I did it. You have to make those decisions if you want to have a good team. Before matches, in the locker room, usually I just tell them about the other team, what we're going to try and do. There aren't an awful lot of things as far as other than maybe we'll try to go down the line a little more, but I tell them the other team is going to have some good spikes, and they're allowed to. They're going to have some good blocks. They're allowed to. They're allowed to play well. There could be a handful. I am not a rah-rah person. My kids, when they come out, they don't run around the gym. They don't do this flower stuff. They don't do any choreography. They wanted to do it about 12 years ago. I said, do it. I don't care. Do it. They got halfway through it and got all messed up and they quit doing it. My kids, they run out there, they grab a volleyball, pair off, set, play some pepper. That's what they do. Setters go to the net, they do their setting. Isn't that what the game's about? We'll be here to do some choreography, and one school in our conference always did a flower. Oh, that's cute. That's nice. What are we doing? What they're doing, we're bumping, and we're setting, and we're hitting some overhands, and we're doing the things we're going to use during the game. So let them do it. That's fine. And to me, if we play the way we can, I tell the kids, we'll be okay. If kids come out and play the way they can, we're fine. If there are problems, they have to handle it. And If I haven't given them the experience to handle a situation in practice, they're going to mess it up. And so whose fault is that? That's mine, because I haven't given them a particular experience. So good teams, I really believe this, and I've said it before, good teams win in spite of officials. Okay, where you go, good teams win in spite of officials. If you play volleyball and you spike and the ball hits the floor, there isn't much they can do about that. If you serve and get a good serve and it shanks off the other player's arms, there isn't much they can do. You got to get a point. A good team wins in spite of the officials. Sometimes I really mean that, and so do you. We really mean it. But you have to initially, as a coach, go out there and believe that they're trying to do the best they can. They're trying to do the best they can. I go into it always, but I can't always tell you I come out of it that way. But you have to initially give them that particular chance and opportunity. One of the things we say before we get on the floor, and after I let the kids pray, I never pray. I let them pray. We never pray to win. I tell them, you pray for what you want, but you never, ever pray to win. To do your best, all these kinds of things, and we do this or we do that on the court, that's fine. We do not pray to win. But one thing we say, and as a freshman or sophomores, whoever gets on the varsity, get up there, they're all trying to learn this thing. We say the winner's creed. And we started this back in 78 or 79, and it goes like this. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you lose, you're lost. You've lost. For out in the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is a man who thinks he can. We say that every time before we go on the floor. And when we go to tournaments, we go to Quincy, we go to these tournaments and say, we haven't prayed. We have chapels all over the place. We just find a hole, some corner, some little old dungeon room, just so the spiders don't get them or if they don't see them, you know. God, girls and spiders. They go nuts. But that's what we do. And to me, if you people can do the two little things, and you be fair and consistent to the kids, they deserve it. Why aren't we doing it? Why do we worry about mom and dad? That's all I have. Thank you.